Hello, today we're talking about big beetroot. I'm going to cut you to some video shortly that I shot and uploaded a number of years ago in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And I happened to be in the garden one day, and my neighbour was in his garden, and we had a chat through the garden fence, socially distanced, obviously, and it revolved around what we were growing and what we were having successes with and what we were having failures with. And I think for my part I said potatoes were doing well, onions were doing well, but the beetroot wasn't doing as well. At which point he said, "Do you want some?" So I thought, yeah, why not? Yes, I'll have some, yeah. He said, "Well, you pop round, I'll open the gate and just take what you want." So I popped round to his garden, and again we're still socially distanced. We didn't get close to one another, and I pulled a few beetroot. Well, I've got to tell you, remember, I'm having a failure. These beetroot were big. Boy, I was jealous. I needed to grow beetroot like that. And so I asked him, "What variety are these?" And he said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, it'll be on the packet." He said, "Yeah, but I don't know where the packet is." Ah, right. But what he did say was, there wasn't many in the packet, and he wasn't happy about that. Well, let me tell you, I was happy about those beetroot. I wish I'd grown them. But what he did say, again, was, "I'll look for the packet. You take the beetroot, I'll look for the packet." So I took the beetroot, and I thought, I've got to put a video up with these beetroot on it. I've got to show you how big they are, which is what I did. And we're going to cut to that video now. And you'll be pleased to know he did find out what variety the beetroot were. He found the packet. So I've included that in the video. So if you wanted to grow big vegetables, you need the right seed, you need the right variety. And if you're wanting to grow big beetroot, I would recommend this variety. And these beetroot were big anyway. Cut to the video. Boy, wait till you see this beetroot. I'll tell you now, I would love to be able to say this is one of my beetroot, but it isn't. It's from the chap next door. Blimey, I've never seen beetroot as big. Right, let me get it and pop it up on this table. Wow, hey, how about that? How about that? I've never seen a beetroot as big. It's enormous. It's a monster. I'm going to have to measure this. I'm going to have to weigh it. Blimey, I've never seen a beetroot as big as this one. But what he said was, sometimes when vegetables get bigger than normal, they turn woody or they become hollow inside. So I won't know if this is a good beetroot until I've cooked it, which is something I'm going to do later today, and I will tag on to the end of this video. But hey, let's get my measuring stick and let's measure this beetroot, and then I think we'll pop it on the scales. What do you think? That's a good idea. We'll measure it, we'll pop it on the scale. This is my measuring stick. I've marked it off at 1 inch intervals. Okay, we'll pop that there. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure the circumference of this beetroot using this piece of twine. Okay. So if I nip that there and take it off, that's the circumference from there to there of that beetroot. Right, let's measure it off. Wow, what do you make that? That's what I make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow! That beetroot 16 inches circumference. That's got to be, whoa, that's got to be just over 40 centimetres in circumference. That is a big beetroot, believe you me. That is a big beetroot, blimey. Right, what we're going to do now, we're going to take the tops off, get the scales up on this table and weigh it. Oh, but what I will tell you before I do weigh this, obviously we need to eat this beetroot to prove that it's got quality, don't we? So we need to cook it, which is what I've said I'll already do. And if it has got quality, I want to grow these beetroot next year. Look at the size of it. So I asked my neighbour what variety it was. Unfortunately he couldn't remember, but what he could remember was that there weren't that many seeds in the packet. Now that tells me this is an F1 variety. That's a characteristic of buying F1 seeds. You don't get many, you just don't. And he was complaining that he didn't get many seeds in the packet, so he was a wee bit upset. But hey, how many of these do you need? You know, how many do you need? If that turns out to be a good beetroot, you don't need that many, do you? So yeah, once we've cooked it and tasted it, I'm growing these next year, provided they've got the quality. And my neighbour has already said he thinks he might be able to find the information that I'm after and tell me what variety this is. And if he can do that, and provided this does taste okay, it'll be in the video somewhere. I'll tell you what variety of beetroot this was. Okay, let's get the scales up here. I've got the scales, but while I was indoors getting them, I found a tennis ball. You'd have to say a beetroot the size of a tennis ball is a good beetroot, wouldn't you? Tennis ball sized beetroot, does that sound about right? Let's check this guy out against a tennis ball. Now then, now you get a sense of scale. Blimey, this thing is sort of, I don't know, 5 tennis balls worth. This beetroot is about 5 beetroot that big. I'm going to have to stop saying it's a big beetroot. You'll be sick of hearing that. Right, let's get the gloves on, get the tennis ball off the table and get the scales on the table. You'll be able to hear the lawnmower in the background, I would imagine. It's a lovely day here at Homegrown Veg and all the neighbours are out cutting the grass. Right, we'll just pop that down there and we'll take this top off like this and hopefully we won't get beetroot all over our hands. How's that? Throw that down there. Get the scales. Okay, what circumference did we say this was? 16 inches. Oh, right, let's see what weight it is. Blimey. Oh, wants a roll. What weight is it? I'll need to come round your side. Wow, that's £2. That's a £2 beetroot. That's just under 1 kilogram for one beetroot. 16-inch circumference, £2 in weight, in old money. Just over 40 centimetres and just under 1 kilogram in new money. Wow. Okay, now what we need to do is find a pan big enough to put this thing in. You will need to give me a minute now. Just hold on. We need a pan. Right. More a stock pot than a pan. This is the biggest pan we've got. In fact, it's a stock pot, isn't it? It's a big one. Right, I'm afraid your standard size pan wouldn't cut it, would it? It would not. There we go. So we'll go and put some water in this, get it on the stove, and give it quite a bit longer than you would normally give beetroot, but it's a biggie, isn't it? It's going to take quite a bit of cooking. So we'll have it probably on a low light for a long time. Right, let's get this thing indoors. So we'll bring this up to the boil, then we'll turn it down to simmer and give it probably a couple of hours, maybe even longer, I don't know. I've never cooked a beetroot as big as this before, never. It's another first for homegrown veg. In fact, I've never seen one as big as this before. Okay, let's bring it up to the boil and then we'll turn it down to simmer. So, this is the moment of truth. I brought the beetroot up to the boil, then turned the heat down, simmered it for 2 hours, then turned it off. The beetroot stayed in the pan overnight, cooled down this morning. I've skinned it and sliced it. The reason I haven't got that on camera is because I just thought, yeah, we need to be careful here. This is a big beetroot, and if I make any mistakes and get beetroot all over the kitchen, I'm really in the bad books. So you missed that bit, but here it is. Look at that. Wow, that's a lot of beetroot. Right, let's taste it. Oh, and by the way, I've spoke to my next door neighbour this morning, and he tells me the variety is a variety called Wodan. Well, I've got to tell you, it's definitely cooked and it's definitely beetroot. Yeah, That's beetroot okay. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. And the variety again, wore down. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. One thing I will say is that last night, after I settled down to watch a bit of YouTube, I actually looked for Big Beetroot and searched the internet for Big Beetroot. And this isn't the biggest by a long chalk, but I've got to tell you what, it's the biggest beetroot I've ever seen. It really is. And it's cooked well and it tastes nice. So I would recommend it. Wore down. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.